Hello, good afternoon everyone. I welcome the viewers once again in my class of English communication, and in this class, in my today's session, I am going to discuss about formal letters and application. So first of all, let's see what the learner will be able to learn, that is understand the importance of formal writing, means formal letters. Formal letters, it is a part of formal writing. So they will be able to understand the importance of formal letters. Then they will be familiarized with the parts and functions of formal letters. Then identify different types of formal letters and learn how to write an effective formal letter and maintain professionalism and clarity and conciseness while writing formal letters. Now the table of contents, we have introduction, then introduction, definition, and importance of these letters, parts of these letters, different types of letters, and things to remember, things to avoid, all these things I will be discussing. Then writing application also, different parts of applications. Yeah. So today the first one is introduction to formal letters. Alright, let me introduce you to the formal letters. What are formal letters? Before discussing the formal letters, first we need to know that in English communication, there are two parts, that is there are many parts, but in the writing of English communication, while writing English communication, there are two parts, that is formal and informal. Okay, so today we are here to discuss about the formal English writing. And formal English writing, the first part that is all related to work. The informal is like the informal letters. Okay, but formal English writing, it has many parts, and the one most important part is the formal letters. Now the formal letters, what are they? Letters are of two types, formal letters and informal letters. Informal letters are the ones which we write to our friends, family members and all. And formal letters are the ones which are related to our work. That means formal letters which we write to our in our office, which are used in our office, in our workplace, like when we write our letters to our seniors, when we write our letters to our clients, when we write our letters to buyers, so different kinds of letters. So they all come under the category of formal letters, formal writing. Now, these formal letters, because this is something which we have been again studying for years together, what are formal letters, what are informal letters, but here, when we are at this juncture, we are studying it. Why? There must be some reason. Have you thought that why we are focusing on these things again in our class of English communication? Something which we had studied, these things which we have studied in class 3rd, class 4th, class 5th. Yeah. So, let me clarify. These things are a part of our professional life. These things are a part of our professional communication. They hold a very important position. Though the form has changed now, that earlier letters was written on paper, written with paper and pen, but now the letters are sent through emails, right? They are sent through emails, different types of letters. So all professional communication, the professional communication still, it makes me, because earlier also the letters were written for business communication, now also the letters are written for business and official communication. Okay, so these things are in the professional world, letters are still very common and hold a lot of importance. So that is why as English learners, we people need to learn what these formal letters are. A formal letter is a written communication following a specific format and style. So it is a written communication which is done in a proper format and a proper style, and for professional or official purposes. And such formal letters, they ensure clear and professional communication, maintaining a formal tone and structure. So these letters, they maintain a formal tone and a formal structure. Means we will see further that there are some things that the format of the letter is always like it is aligned to the left hand margin. We have to write everything aligned to the left hand margin, like the heading is on the top, then sender's address is there, then the signature of the person is there. So all these things are formal, are come under the format of the formal letters. Then the thing is, like, there is a set of particular way we address, means the greeting, means in informal letters we can write hi, how are you, hello, how are you doing, long time no see. But these kind of things are never ever used in formal letters. Means even you are associated with a client for 20 years. Okay, so but then also when a letter is written, because it is a formal letter, it will follow all the rules and regulations of the professional world. Now, the definition of a formal letter. The definition of a formal letter is that a formal letter is a structured way to communicate professionally. Means it is a structured way, means in a proper structure, means we use a proper format, we use a proper structure. When we keep in mind this when we communicate. It follows a specific format and style. So a specific format, a specific style is used according to the letter which we are writing. This style, the tone of the letter, it will change. Like if we are writing a letter to a client, or if we are writing a letter to our boss. So the tone of the letter will change. Then often used in business, legal and academic settings. These formal letters, they are used in business settings, they are used in academic settings, and they are used in legal settings. Like business settings, when we are writing, when we are communicating with our clients, means whether we have to place an order or whether we have to ask for an inquiry. So what do? We use this particular format of a business letter. Then when in academics, when we are writing to our students or we are writing to our higher ups, means the management or our director sir, or it is our means any HOD sir or whatsoever. So in academic field also. Then legal, means when we are writing a letter to our lawyer, or when we are communicating at the legal grounds, when we are communicating with our clients. So there a special format and a special tone is used. Then it ensures clarity and professionalism, because I had mentioned it beforehand that everything, first of all, everything has to be professional. Hi, hello, even if you are associated with a client for 20 years, hi, hello, how are you doing, long time no see, these kind of words are strictly prohibited. Then, and clarity, obviously clarity has to be there, because when I'm talking again and again about clarity, what is clarity is, means we can say to my client, I would say the software will cost you somewhere around 5,000 to 8,000. Now 5,000 to 8,000, that is an unclear message. 5,000 to 8,000, there is a huge difference of 3,000 in between. And when we are in a business world, even a rupee, even a single rupee matters. So such kind of language, such kind of expression is not acceptable in the professional world. It has to be either 5,000 or it has to be 8,000. Then, so clarity, professionalism, and the last point here is, like, it helps document communication for the further references. Means these formal letters, they are also a form of documentation. Means a letter written, means anything on anything done telephonically, there is no evidence. But once a letter is written, it can solve two purposes. First of all, it solves a purpose of documentation, that you can keep it as a means of your document, means for further reference. Second thing, most important, is it is an evidence, means a person, once he has placed an order, he cannot go back from it. He cannot say, no, I did not do it. He cannot refuse in accepting that, because generally when a person is, when such things are done orally, then what happens, a person can say, okay, you send me a consignment of 100 articles, okay, that's okay. But he can go back on his words and he can, no, I don't require the consignment and I don't need it. All right, he can very conveniently, he can cancel the assignment, but consignment, sorry, he can cancel the consignment. But supposing the other person who has already started with the consignment, he has started procuring raw material, or he has started with the manufacturing process, then he is in a dilemma, he is in the middle of a puddle, that what he is going to do now, because if he had made the purchases, if he had started with his production, what will he do with that consignment now? So in such cases, then the legality is followed. But to avoid such kind of things, okay, to avoid such kind of things, then when all the orders, all the formal communication is in the written form, it works as an evidence. And the person, once who has placed an order, he can never ever go back on his words. He can be challenged legally in the court, because this letter will prove as an evidence. Now, importance of formal letters we have discussed. Now, professional communication. That is, that these formal letters, they are a means of professional communication. That is, professional communication means facilitates clear and concise communication, means in our professional world, the communication has to be very, very clear and it has to be concise. Means an informal letter, if I start writing a letter to a long lost friend, long separated friend, I can write pages and pages and pages. Right? Because I want to share, means if I have met a friend after 5 years, so if I have come in touch with, I had a reunion, or I have been in touch with a friend, I came across a friend after 5 years, then there are a lot of things which I would like to tell from the last we met to the present. Means lot of occurrences are there in everyone's lives. So I can write pages and pages and pages of information. But in a professional world, the letters have to be very, very concise, because the concise means, like a professional letter, a formal letter means, professional letter, I mean by formal letter only. A formal letter finishes up in few lines only, because there is not much to speak. We have to be clear, we have to be concise, and the information which we need to give has to be should be to the point. The second point here is essential in business, legal and academic. This I had already discussed, that this professional communication, it is for business purpose, it is for academic purpose, and it is for legal purpose. Then it helps avoid misunderstandings, means when the information is clear, when there is no repetition, clear to the point, then obviously the misunderstandings are avoided. Then creates a formal record of discussions and agreements, means it creates a formal record. That is what I said, that it will be in our record, that when we want to go back to the same information again, means let's say I have procured an order of consignment, and that order was given, means I have been asked to begin with that order after a couple of weeks. So what happens, that people in the business world, the things might slip out from their mind because of overwork. So what do? That they go back to the same letter, they go back to the same document where they have stored, and they can refer to that again. So then everything is crystal clear. And the last is, it enhances professionalism in interactions, because something which we need to learn, that professionalism in working in the professional world, obviously we need to follow we need to follow professionalism. So everything has to be, because the professional people, whatever, however we are meeting with them, whatever our association, however long our association is, but they are not our friends. So we need to maintain professionalism. Now, official record keeping. This I had discussed with you, that for future references means formal letters, they serve as documented records. That means they are useful for future references also. Then they helps in tracking communication history, means we can track all. If they are written, like if we have the best way to do is, like when I am dealing with the company company A, then all the communication which I had with that company till now, I will record it, I will assemble it in a folder by the name A. If I have a company B, so I'll name the folder with that company, and all the mails, all the information, all the letters, I'll be recording in that. So whenever there is a problem, and the best part is to do it with the date, so they will be in order, so we can refer to it very easily. Then helps in tracking communication history. Then it provides an evidence and ensures accountability, means you can hold the other person accountable, that yes, this is something which the other person has said. Then next is building formal relationships, that is helps establish professional connections, means there are people in the world today, they do not want sweet talkers, they want professional people. Today everybody welcomes and appreciates professionalism. So formal letters is a step towards establishing professionalism. Then the second is maintain a respectful tone in communication, means professionalism, I said we cannot be very friendly and we can never ever be rude. The tone which we need to maintain, it has to be whether spoken or written, it has to be assertive. Assertive is the tone, means with politeness but being firm. Assertiveness is being polite but being firm on what we are trying to say. Such tone is called assertive, and that is the best tone in professional world. Then it is essential for networking in professional fields. Yes, networking, yes, professional world moves on networking, means today I am connected to one person, then through that one person I'll come across another 10 people, then from those 10 people I'll come across more people. So this is networking, and networking works best if there is professionalism induced in it. Then convey professionalism and seriousness, and then supports long-term professional relationships. So when with formal communication, then the professionalism, we can exist more in the professional world, and the relationship which we make with people, those relationships are long lasting. Now, clear and precise information exchange. The clear and precise information, that is ensures accurate transfer of information, means the information that is transferred among people, means that the information which is transferred to people, that information has to be inaccurate. Means I told you, I had discussed earlier, I had mentioned that I want 3000 pieces or I want 5000 pieces. Means please send me 3000 to 5000 pieces. Now 3000 to 5000 pieces, there is a huge gap of 2000, and in business world even one piece cost, because that all is added to your costing. So we have to be very, very accurate, and we have to be very, very particular in what we are saying, and that is possible only in written communication. Then reduces the chances of misunderstandings. Obviously, when everything is clear, everything is mentioned on paper, then it reduces any chances of misunderstanding. Then the next one is follows a structured formal format for clarity. Means a proper formal structure is used. Means our structured format is used. Means in the formal settings, there is a structure that we have to write the date, where the date is placed, what is the format of the date, where the signature is there, where designation, what is the header. So all these are different parts of the letter, and they all need to be incorporated, because we cannot miss out anything from the structure. So after this, I will be discussing the parts of the structure of a formal letter. So important in technical and official context, and enhances the quality of communication, because as I said, learned people, they all are very, very particular about, the learned people are very, very particular about the accuracy, the professionalism, so, and everything to be very particular. So they all welcome these formal letters. So now the next part will be parts of a formal. Okay, so we have discussed like one of the most important part of header is sender's address. So after in the sender's address, obviously the location means it is very important. Sender's address, like we have to know the location of the person, because it's important, I said, because where sometimes a consignment, or if we have ordered something that needs to be sent, then it is a must for the person to know the location, because in the business, if a person has to send a consignment to a place which is like let's say 100 kilometers, or the place which is 500 kilometers, then it makes a lot of difference because of the transportation charges. So the person needs to know the location of the person and location of the sender. Then it includes street, means complete address. The complete address is there. Means the street, the city, the place, everything with the landmark, everything has to be there. Now the next is the date. That outside, the date has always to be mentioned. On the left hand side, the date has to be mentioned. It can be May, M-A-Y, May. It can be May 20, 2024, or it can be 20 May, M-A-Y, May, and 2024. So these are the two ways but how we can write the date. Then as I had mentioned earlier, that 20.5.2024, that will be wrong, because we don't write the date in numericals. Then after the date, we have the recipient's address. Recipient's address means the person who will receive the letter. So his address, again, the name of the person, the designation of the person, and the location details of the recipient, everything has to be mentioned there. It is essential for both professional as well as official communication. And it is placed before the date. Means first is sender's address, then there is date, and then the recipient's address. Then the next point is salutation. Salutation is that how we address a person, how we greet a person. Means it is like, hi, how are you, these kind of things. So dear, my loving, dearest, these kind of greetings are not used in a business or a formal letter. So it is a formal greeting, and the formal greeting is that if you know a person, if you don't know a person, it is sir or madam, or if you know a person, then it is dear sir or dear madam. That's it. My loving, my dear, my dearest, these all things are not required anymore. Then this sets a respectful and polite tone. Means the way you are addressing the person, it reflects your tone, that how respectful you are and what is the tone and how polite you are. Often it includes titles such as Mr., Mrs., Doctor. These are included. This is essential for professional setting. It is important in a professional setting. And then this point is, it is followed by a comma or colon. So this is still, it is like generally, it's not colon, it is the comma. Generally, it is the comma that is being used. Then the next is the subject line. Subject line is one line. That means it's generally in 5 to 7 words, not more than that. It shouldn't be like 2 or 3 long lines or something. No, it's not that. Subject line has to be restricted to 5 to 7 or maximum 8 words. And in those words, we need to mention we need to mention that what is the purpose of writing the letter. Means the person, the person, because in the formal background, the people do not have that much of time of reading so many letters. So from the subject itself, they will come to know that what is the purpose of the letter, what is there in the letter. So then he can decide that whether he wants to read the letter or not. Now these things are very important for us as common people also, because there are so many letters, like the letters come and letters are dropped, and then opening the letter, once we see the subject line like introducing a new product, and then like if we are not interested in that product, we can simply leave the letter. Now these things are happening with the emails, because these letters are not sent physically, but these letters are being sent in the form of emails. So it is, if it is a long email, we do not need to go through it. The complete, just from the subject line itself, we can make out that what is the purpose of that letter. Then next is signature. The next one is signature. Signature has to be placed at the end. Means the signature block is after the body. I'll come to the body also, because in the body I have to discuss the parts of the body. That is why I have taken the signature block earlier. That signature block, there is the first of all, it's placed after the body, and then after the body on the left hand side, there is the signature of the person who is writing the letter. Then there is full name of the person. Full name means, like if the person is Ashok Aneja, then he has to write Ashok Aneja. Only Ashok will not work. Then after the full name of the person, there is the designation of the person. And after that is followed by enclosure. Means after the designation, means the signature block finishes off there, that whatever. And then after the signature block, like if you are writing as a sales manager, if you are writing as a director, or MD, or whatsoever your designation, or as a simple teacher, or whatsoever the designation is, that is written after the name of the person. So these three things are very, very important in the signature block. Then after the signature block, we have the enclosures. So I have missed out upon one of the slide, that is the body. Means after the signature block, after the subject line, we have the body. The body is again divided into three parts. First is the introduction, then we have the main part of the body, and where the most of the content is there, most of the information for which why the letter is written, that is there, and then we have the conclusion. The body is divided into these three parts, and the most important part of the body is that it should be structured in a proper manner in paragraphs. Then that addresses the main purpose. It addresses the main purpose and the details that why the letter is written, and then a professional tone, professional language, which is grammatically correct with no problem in the sentence construction. Such kind of language is expected in a formal letter. And the end of it will be a call for action. That is, the call for action means, like in your conclusion you can say that, okay, looking forward to receive an order from you, or looking forward to let us know when the new product is being launched, or something like that. Means you expect the other person, or you mention that the other person for an action. Then after the body, we have the closing. Closing, again I said, closing can be there in the signature block also. In some of the books and some of the sites, you can see that the signature block has four things. That is yours sincerely, that is the closing. Okay, the closing, yours sincerely, then it is the signature. After leaving one line, it is the signature, and then the name and the designation of the person. So the closing has to be polite, and it is, we can even call the complimentary close. Means complimentary close, the compliment which we use. That is like in informal letters, your loving, your dearest, your loving, this can be used. But nowadays there are only two ways how the two basic types of complimentary closes are used in a formal letter. That is, it is sincerely yours or yours sincerely, or it is truly yours or yours truly. These are only two expressions. These are only two expressions which are used. Then it sets as a positive and respectful tone. Then it is followed by the sender's signature and the sender's name and the designation. So here it is. Signature. Signature is like it authenticates the sender's identity. Yes, the letter is signature shows that yes, the sender has read the letter properly and he has authenticated the letter by signing to it. Whatever is written in the letter has been written by him, or if it has been written by somebody else, then he agrees to everything that is there in the letter. Then it is placed below the closing phrase. Then often it includes the sender's full name and title. It is essential for verifying the sender and can be handwritten or digital. These days, because it is a word of digitalization, so these can be written. This can be written in digital. Like digital signature can also be incorporated, and digital signatures can be incorporated when we are writing the letters or we are sending the letters through emails. Now the last part of our letter is enclosures. Enclosures are the list of things that we need to enclose with our letter. That is whether it is a photograph, whether it is a copy of one's testimonials, or it can be a brochure, or it can be an invoice, or whatsoever. Everything, whatever is there, it has to be enclosed, and just a little up from the letter means we can say that 4 or 5 spaces below the signature block, this enclosure word is written ENCL, then we have colon, and then we write the list of things that we have added. Like if it is a photograph, then first we write the photograph. Then second, if it is a copy of the testimonials, then we write the copy of the testimonial. And if there are something else also, some letter of recommendation or something, so it will come after that. Sorry. So according to the importance of the thing, according to the requirement, the enclosures are placed in an order. Now we come to the functions of each part of the letter. The functions of each part of the letter means each part of a formal letter, it serves a specific purpose. That is header, sender's address and date. Then the recipients, the salutation, the body. All these things they hold a special significance. The function of the header, as we people have already discussed, that it is for professional use, and like in the header, the full information of the person is given. The full information of the person is given in the header itself, so it is of use. Then after the header, I'll just skip it past because we people have already discussed this, that the sender's address functions. What are the functions of the sender's address? The functions are that where the sender belongs to, means to which place the person is communicating, and to which place the email has to be, the consignment, if placed, has to be sent, or the order placed has to be sent. Then date, again date functions. That is a very important part of the timeline of the communication, that it helps in record keeping, it helps in telling that on which date we have received which document, and it is like for tracking communication. And here in this I have even mentioned the forms of dates that we can use. Then recipient's address. What is the function of the recipient's address? That it identifies the recipient's location, that where the recipient belongs to, and all the detailed information, the address, the landmark, everything has to be written. Then the salutation functions, that is again we will have discussed this, that salutation is just after the subject line, and the greeting means whatever the way which we can greet, and it has to be a respectful tone of the person. Then we have the subject line functions. Obviously the subject line they tell us that they keep the letter organized and focused. That is, we need to be on the point. We need to have to stick to the point. Like, what is the subject line? What is the letter all about? So the subject line, whatever the subject line is, that is all the detail. Means the detailed information is there in the letter. So the subject line, it tells the function. The subject line, it tells the purpose of the letter. Then we have the body functions. Obviously, in the first part, body again is divided into three parts, and the first structure is the paragraph for clarity. Then second addresses the main purpose for which the letter has been written, and the conclusion ends with a call for action. So this is how the body functions. Then the closing functions. The closing, complementary clause, this also we have discussed that the complementary clause is there, and in the complementary clause the tone which is being used. Then the signature block also we have discussed. Then we come to the enclosures function. Enclosures function also I have told you before that it is if we need to, like these days if we are sending emails, then in the enclosures we have to write the list of the things that we are enclosing, and if we are physically sending a letter, again there also we need to write down that what are the things we are incorporating in a letter, what are the things which we are attaching with the letter. So not incorporating the things which we are attaching with the letter. Now we come to the types of formal letters. So the types of formal letters, there are business letters. They are used for commercial purposes, commercial correspondence. Then we have letters of recommendation, like we want to recommend anybody. Like let's say in a company, if an employee is leaving, or if an employee is going to another branch, then the head of the company, or let's say the head of the branch, he writes a recommendation letter for that employee. Then the second one is complaint letters, means when we express complaints, when we have to complain about something. And then cover letters, that means job applications. Cover letters are always there with job applications. And then we have resignation letters, means the letters in which we send our resignation, that we no longer wish to work with that particular. Now the business letters in detail, that means for commercial purpose, it facilitates business transactions, and then it maintains a professional and formal tone, and it is essential in business operations and networking, and it can cover a range of topics like inquiries, orders, business letters like sales letter, inquiry letter, order letter, quotation letter. All these come under the category of business letter. Now we have the letters of recommendation. Letters of recommendation means like provide an endorsement for a person's qualifications. This is a letter. Like when you are leaving the school, you take no objection certificate from the school, or you get a character certificate from the school. So that is an endorsement, that the school is endorsing that this particular person, what the character of the particular person is. In the same manner, these letters of recommendation, they endorse the qualifications of the person. They endorse that a person has means yes, he has been a very good employee. He has worked very nicely. So these letters of recommendations are for endorsing. Then they are important for job applications and academic admissions. Just now I said academic admissions. Yes, the college endorses that yes, this student has been with us for the last 3 years, and this degree he has taken from our college. Then it highlights the individual's skill and achievements. Then it often requested by employers and educational institutions, and should be detailed and specific. So recommendation letter is always detailed. Now complaint letter. Complaint letter is to correspond. If you have purchased something, or if you have any problem in a company, or if you have purchased something and the product is not up to the mark, so you can file a complaint. Or if there is any other problem also, we can write a complaint letter. So that is used to address issues in service or in services or products. Then they maintain a respectful tone depicting the complaints, and they are essential for consumer rights and feedback. And these complaint letters, they should be clear and concise. Means whatever we are writing, they are clear or concise. Then what are the cover letters? Cover letters are the ones which are enclosed with or which are attached to the job application. Or we can say that a job application is a combination of two, cover letter plus the resume. Because alone if you send cover letter, it won't be of any use. And if alone you send a resume, it won't get you any job. So when there is a job opportunity, we have to write a cover letter also depicting about ourselves, and then we have to attach a drafted resume with it. But one thing which we have to keep in mind while writing a cover letter is that whatever is there in the resume, try not to mention that in the cover letter, because resume in one go, a person will go through all the things in the resume. But a cover letter means something which is other than the resume. That thing should be mentioned in the cover letter. Then we have resignation letters, obviously, when they resign from a job, when they resign from a post, when I resign from a position, whatever the reason could be. So we write resignation letters, and in resignation letters, the time, the reason of the resigning should be written. It provides a notice period as required by the employer, and we can even write like in resignation letters the notice period. Let's say in a company the notice period is of 1 month, so then they have to mention it there. That after that 1 month, means supposing a person from 24th June, means 24th June 2024. So today if a person is resigning and there is 1 month's notice period, then he said that my resignation will be applicable after serving the notice period, that is from 24th July. So that needs to be written. Thank the employer for the opportunity and express readiness for a smooth transition, that you are ready for the smooth transition, moving from one place to another. Now there are differences between different types of formal letters. The differences between different types of formal letters means like each type of letter, it has a different purpose. Then business letters, they focus on commercial matters also, because most of them also they all focus on commercial matters only, because a sales letter, an offer, a sales letter, an inquiry letter, a quotation letter, an order letter, they all fall in the category of business letters, and they all are related with business or commerce. Then we have letters of recommendation, then complaint letters, and letters of resignation. Now, I'll be here discussing slowly and gradually. I'll be discussing the different examples of business letters. Different examples of business letters. So, different examples of business letters, examples of letters of recommendation. So, academic recommendation, there can be a letter of academic recommendation. Then there can be means you are leaving an institute and you are joining some other institute, maybe for the higher education or whatsoever. So there is the recommendation letter is written for academic purpose, then for professional recommendation. That means when from your company you want to go to another company and you ask some higher authority to write a letter telling the other person that yes, you have been means you are a good worker or anything. So that counts. Then character references means character certificates which are issued in the schools, scholarships, and internship recommendations also. Recommendation letters are also written for internships. Means like the college writes a recommendation letter to the students of first year when they go in for their internship. So it endorses that yes, that particular student is a student of that particular college, and the college wants the student to join internship. Because obviously the students when they are starting, they cannot go for internship. So that endorsement is a must by the institution. Now we have the examples of complaint letter. So now complaint letters, it is again complaints against product or some service complaint. That means first of all product complaint. That means if you have bought something and the thing hasn't turned out to be good, so that is a product complaint. If there is any service and the service has not been fruitful, then you will write service complaint also. Then billing complaint, then employee complaint, and then there is delivery complaint. All these complaints, because you can see that these complaints are all related to the business world. Then we have the examples of cover letter. So cover letters, job applications. Generally it is job application, then internship, then scholarship, then volunteer services, and then freelancing. For everything a cover letter is required. Then we have the example of resignation letters. Now these resignation letters, these are standard resignations which announce that a person is leaving the company and he is going to join some other company, or whether he is going to join some other company or not, but he doesn't wish to, that he is not ready to continue in this particular company, so he resigns. So that is a resignation letter. Then immediate resignation means leave a job without a notice period. That is also one form of resignation letter, that is called immediate resignation. Then retirement resignation means when a person retires from his job, then also he has to write a resignation letter. Then we have relocation, means when a person is relocating from one place to another. And then after is career change, means when you altogether want to change your career from one to another, then also you write a resignation letter. Now summary of formal letters, so much we have discussed about formal letters, and we have understood by now that specific format, specific tone, specific language, that is all which is required. A proper structure is essential for in a formal letter to maintain a professional relationship. And professional relationship is the key. Professional relationship is the key to business world these days. Now the second part of our formal letters is that is writing applications. So applications, again we know that there are so many things. Applications, they are type of formal letters only, because the format which is being followed in an application, this is all about formal letter. The formal letter format, exactly the same format is followed. So we are not going to discuss the format again. So it is used for requests like jobs, admissions, and services. Like if you want any service from anybody, then again formal structure, all the necessary details, and it is important for all official purposes. Applications are important for all official purposes. Then after the application, like introduction to writing application, that means applications are formal letters, they are for the jobs, they are for applications are used for all, just now everything that we have discussed. Now the structure of an application. Now again I said the structure of the application is exactly the same as the structure of the formal letter. Means the body is also the same, that we have one paragraph, we have first paragraph, we have second paragraph, and then we have third paragraph. Then again the all head, senders address, recipient address, senders address, date, recipient's address, then body of the application, and then the complimentary clause, and then we have the signature block. So everything is there along with the, means exactly, it is a form of formal letter only. The difference in a formal letter and an application is that we are applying for something. Application means applying for something. So obviously when we are applying for something, our tone has to be super soft. Our tone has to be super polite, because you are asking for a favor from the person across. So the tone has to be very, very soft. So then text for writing an effective application. That is be clear. And be clear, include all the necessary details. The tone has to be polite, and all professionalism, complete professionalism has to be used. Clear and concise language means everything, whatever is being said, has to be mentioned very clearly, and it follows a proper structure. Then tips for writing application, that is, it has to be clear and concise, then include all necessary details, maintain a formal and respectful tone, then follow a structured format and proofreading for any kind of grammatical mistakes. That has to be there. Then things to avoid. Things to avoid. What are the things that we need to avoid while writing an application? That means no informal language or informal tone has to be used. There shouldn't be any grammatical mistakes in the application. The unclear and foggy matters should not be there. Means everything has to be clear and concise. Means the ideas should not be vague or overlapping. And incorrect formats and grammatical mistakes should not be there. Now, after this we come to the conclusion. The conclusion is that formal letters are vital for professional communication. Follow specific formats, whichever type of letter we are writing. Means formats, no, only a little the language changes. Means formats are, the format is the same whether I write any kind of business letter. So the format has to be same, whatever. Means whether I write an inquiry letter, a sales letter or order letter or a quotation letter. So the format for all the letters, the language, the tone has to be same. But when we are writing applications, then in that case, in the case of applications, then the tone has to be requesting. And when we are writing complaint letter, it has to be assertive. Complaint letter, resignation letter, the tone has to be assertive. So, in recommendations serve various purposes. These letters, they serve various purposes like business, complaints, recommendations. Then applications also are formal letters, and then we need to maintain a professional attitude towards the letters. We need to have a professional attitude while writing these letters. So, I would like to say that all these formal letters, I hope all of you have been able to understand, because I have discussed in detail each and everything about formal letters, that whether it was what is a formal letter, whether it was structure of formal letter, different parts of the structure, then the different types of formal letters, and the things to avoid and the important things that we should follow. So this is all about formal letters and applications. I hope all of you have understood well. My presentation is helpful for you. So once again, I thank you for a patient hearing.